Konnichiwa from a very rainy Tokyo. It's been close to 1 month now with the new iPhone 16 Pro Max. This will actually be my last week with it to make that full 30 days use. I really wanted to get some full usage out of the phone because on paper and looks-wise, it honestly looks very similar to last year. So design-wise, aesthetically, the big change is obviously the new color option. So this is in Desert Titanium. I actually really like it. It's almost like a muted gold. You can see the titanium railings around the outside. Obviously the back is still glass. We have a new addition of a camera control button, which I'll get to when I talk about cameras. But other than that, it looks so similar. I guess if you are like a real pixel peeper, if you look at the front, the screen has grown in size. So from the Pro Max, that's 6.9 inches versus 6.7. And if you're grabbing the standard Pro, that's 6.3 inches versus 6.1. The bezels have shrunken slightly, the phone has grown by a couple millimeters, and it just has a larger screen to body ratio. So if you are rocking a case, you'll need something new. These are the ones that I've been rocking from ESR. My favorite feature of them is this little camera guard, which actually protects the lenses, and you can use it as a little kickflip stand to watch content both horizontally and vertically. The stand was also designed for unrestricted phone use while attached to other MagSafe accessories. So they come with a couple different options depending on like your risk tolerance. So they have a soft silicone, they have a hybrid case, as well as their tough armor in case you are someone that drops your device. The tough case has a 3-layer design that can withstand drops from 23 feet, whereas the classic hybrid and cloud soft cases withstand drops up to 11 feet. Every aspect is engineered for protection, including the shock absorbing guard corners and that camera guard that I mentioned. One thing that I would honestly say, even though the new iPhone has Ceramic Shield 2.0, which makes the phone less prone to screen breaking, the screen is still soft, and within 30 seconds from unboxing this, if you missed my unboxing video, I actually scratched my new phone. So stick a screen protector on it. If you are prone to damaging, dropping your device, stick a case on it. So I'll leave these listed down below. So other than the screen size, this is rocking the new A18 Pro. It's got a 6-core CPU, 6-core GPU. A lot of that will be tuned for Apple Intelligence, which I'll get to at the end, but this phone doesn't quite have yet. Depending on your region, I know in the US it's coming later in the fall. People in Canada, maybe even Japan, that will come later on in the year, hopefully in like December. So in terms of price, it's also the same. So $999 for the Pro, you can get that in 128 gigs. If you're going for the Pro Max, the base storage option is 256. That's $1199, depending on your region. Canadians, our exchange rate is awful. This phone is close to $2,000 with tax. In Japan, I know that the yen is better. We'll do some shopping. Let's go around Tokyo, explore with this guy. So this is a fun little part for this section about the camera. So just a little backstory, we are with Nissan here in their Heritage Museum. All of their cars for the past 9 years, some really cool ones. Nissan Skyline GTR is, true Nissan to me. Need for Speed, Tokyo Drift, all that good stuff, but to the camera. So I guess the big improvements, or one of the biggest features, is this new little button called Camera Control. You can now launch the camera with just the press of this button. Is it the most intuitive? Honestly, from launching the camera from like my home screen for years, it's just so intuitive to me to press like an app icon. I guess theoretically, I just need to retrain my mind to pressing it, but once you do press it, it quickly launches. Then you have access to a couple different options. It's capacitive, so you can switch between things like zoom, picture profiles. We'll talk about that in a second, but is it something that you truly need? Almost like the action button, I honestly rarely use that still. Do I need an extra camera control button? It is nicer to take photos using one hand if I'm filming with my other, with say my Sony, and then I can just kind of stick this in front of me and then use my iPhone all one-handed, which is nice. But I'm hoping just like that action button where you can kind of customize it, maybe in the future we can customize that camera control button for other things. Just something that I'd like to see. But to the actual controls itself, it works really well. Like you can zoom in quite easily, so all the way from 0.5 all the way to 5 times, and then anything else digital. But since it is capacitive, when you actually want to take a photo that you have to hard press it, which technically shakes a little bit the camera. You can kind of see that there. Whereas if you're just pressing it, on the screen on an actual digital button, it doesn't shake as much. Maybe not as good for low light situations. We also have the new photographic styles section. Once again, it's almost like a preset filter that you can choose from. My personal favorite one is the amber. I'll leave my custom LUT setting. You can see it on screen, but once again, just a nice way to change the look of your photos within the app, and you can also change them afterwards. So to the actual sensors, so once again, very, very similar. So the main sensor, 48 megapixels, you've got the 3 different options, 24, 28, and 35. We've got an improved ultra wide, which is now 48 megapixels, and that also switches between that and the macro, and of course the 5x telephoto. Sometimes like my favorite and anything digital afterwards. I've found a bit of a glitch on mine though. When I'm in video mode and then it like auto senses into macro, for example, you can see that the phone is now frozen for a couple seconds and then it switches on over. I've seen a lot of people on Reddit complain. Some people it doesn't affect, but I'm sure that's just like a really easy software update. Honestly, I'm sure Apple is gonna fix that real soon, but in terms of like actual quality, like it's good. It's probably, once again, best in class. Photos are nice and crisp, dynamic range is really good, but video is honestly where iPhone really shines. It's almost sad, like we're recording right now like on a Sony. For a lot of this like project, I just wanna shoot on iPhone. Like the footage is so good, it has like that natural like iPhone look that's really hard to replicate, and I find that with most Android phones. Even the new Pixel, the S24 Ultra, I'm thinking that the iPhone takes the cake. I've got like a full like comparison if you want to check that out, but even with the new like 0.5 camera, I find cropping in photos are a lot crisper, low light is a lot better, and obviously getting to test that here in Tokyo with all the neon lights, had a lot of fun shooting a lot of this footage. But maybe the biggest thing that I've been using a lot, especially like here, is the 4K 120. It's just nice to have that option. Once again, a lot of the B-roll we shot with the iPhone 16 Pro Max has been done in that setting, but that's the camera. So let me know how it looks, but I would probably say best in class for a smartphone camera right now. So one of the biggest things that I've noticed using this, the battery life has definitely been improved. Like that's the best feature of this. We've just been kind of touring around Tokyo trying to find spots. Whether I'm on maps trying to find places, we've just been taking so many photos. The battery life, I would say like 3 hours longer than the previous gen. I know that Apple hasn't released like full-on milliamp numbers, but someone that's on my device like all the time, like I'm averaging 7.5, 8 hours of screen on time. It's a big improvement. But yeah, if you are someone that uses your phone or you're on it the entire day, I think it makes a decent difference. But yeah, we've arrived. This is so cool. Like I love this about Japan. Last but not least, Apple Intelligence. So it's one of the main features, obviously, of the phone, but unfortunately, it's still not available yet. It would have been really useful here in Japan. You know, you saw at the keynote where you can take photos of things, do live translations, taking photos of, say, where the shrine is. It'll give me a bit of information around that. That is coming to most phones, if, say, you're in the US sometime in the fall, the rest of the world, maybe by end of year, even into next. The real interesting thing is that's more of like a software update, and that's coming to the iPhone like 15 Pro, Pro Max from last year. So theoretically, do you need this phone to use the most up-to-date features? Probably not. The fact that a lot of good features to this that I use like on the daily are tied to iOS updates, like for example, screen mirroring. I can now use my phone off of my Mac, my MacBook. I think that's really great. So I think if you have the iPhone 15, 15 Pro, you can skip on this upgrade. If you have an older device like the 11, the 12, maybe the 13, if you really are someone that likes to refresh your phone every like 2 years, and with a 14, I think this would be a great upgrade. Best in class battery life. Like I said, that's the biggest thing for me. The camera control button, I'll use it to launch the camera quickly, but then after that, I still like to use the digital button as I find that it just makes less of movement on the camera. But if you're grabbing a new iPhone, let me know. I hope you enjoyed this review. It's once again raining again here, so it's nice that we're a bit covered. Tried to get a ton of cool like B-roll shots. It's like an actual month with a phone. Day to day, what I actually think, and obviously being in Tokyo here with Nissan has been a great conclusion to 30 days with the iPhone 16 Pro Max. I'll catch the rest of you in one of my next ones. Peace! Forgive the pronunciation. Arigatou gozaimasu.